Welcome to Mind Awakening TV, where we explore thought-provoking insights, expand your mind, and challenge the way you see the world. If you're ready to open your mind and unlock new perspectives, you're in the right place. Let's dive in and awaken the power within. In the heart of a bustling city, where the cacophony of honking cars and chattering pedestrians filled the air, there lived a woman named Clara. Clara was a marketing executive, her days a whirlwind of meetings, deadlines, and the constant hum of her smartphone buzzing with notifications. She prided herself on her ability to articulate ideas swiftly and efficiently, but as the weeks turned into months, the weight of her hurried conversations began to take a toll on her relationships. Friends felt unheard, colleagues misunderstood her intentions, and even her family sensed a growing distance. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day at work, Clara returned home to find her apartment enveloped in a comforting stillness. The city outside was alive, yet inside she felt a profound sense of solitude. As she poured herself a cup of chamomile tea, she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the kitchen window. The fatigue etched on her face was a stark reminder of the emotional disconnection she had been experiencing. It was then that she recalled a conversation with her grandmother, who had often spoken about the importance of mindfulness and the power of presence in communication. Clara decided it was time to make a change. She began her journey into mindfulness with small, intentional practices. The following morning, as she prepared for her day, she focused on each movement: the warmth of the water as she washed her face, the aroma of the coffee brewing, the texture of the bread as she spread butter on it. This simple act of being present transformed her morning routine from a mechanical process into a gentle ritual, and Clara felt a flicker of peace within her. Determined to carry this awareness into her interactions, Clara approached her workday differently. In meetings, instead of jumping in with her thoughts, she paused, taking a moment to listen. She noticed how the room shifted when she allowed silence to settle, giving her colleagues the space to express their ideas fully. Their faces lit up with appreciation, and she felt a warmth in the air, a sense of connection that had been absent before. The more she practiced this mindful listening, the more clarity she gained, not just about others' perspectives, but about her own feelings and responses. One afternoon, during a particularly heated brainstorming session, Clara found herself on the brink of frustration. A colleague, Jake, had just dismissed her idea with a wave of his hand, and Clara felt the familiar rush of indignation rise within her. Instead of responding immediately, she took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment. She remembered the importance of awareness and how it could influence communication. Clara shifted her focus from her irritation to understanding Jake's point of view. After a brief pause, she asked, "Could you help me understand your concerns about my suggestion?" The question caught Jake off guard, and he hesitated before sharing his thoughts. This simple act of pausing before speaking transformed the dynamic of the conversation. Instead of a clash of egos, they engaged in a meaningful dialogue, ultimately leading to a collaborative solution that incorporated both their ideas. As the weeks went by, Clara noticed how her relationships outside of work began to flourish as well. One evening, she met her friend Mia for dinner. Typically, their conversations would spiral into a flurry of anecdotes and opinions, each trying to outdo the other in a race to share stories. But this time, Clara made a conscious effort to listen. She leaned in, making eye contact, and allowed Mia to express her thoughts without interruption. As she did so, she felt a deeper connection forming. Mia shared her struggles with a recent breakup, and Clara's heart swelled with empathy. By simply being present and attentive, Clara not only strengthened their friendship, but also discovered a new level of intimacy that had been missing. Clara's journey into mindfulness didn't come without challenges. There were days when the chaos of life would threaten to pull her back into old habits. One particularly hectic morning, she found herself snapping at her partner, Tom, over a trivial matter. The moment the words left her mouth, she felt a pang of regret. Instead of allowing the moment to fester, she took a step back, closed her eyes, and breathed deeply. When she opened her eyes, she saw Tom's expression, hurt and confused. Clara approached him and said, "I'm sorry for how I spoke to you. I didn't pause to consider your feelings." The vulnerability in her admission softened the tension between them, and they spent the rest of the morning talking openly about their frustrations and hopes. As Clara continued to weave mindfulness into her everyday moments, she began to realize that awareness was not just about listening, but also about understanding her own emotions and triggers. She learned to recognize when stress was building and how to communicate her needs without projecting blame. Her relationships flourished, and the connections she formed were richer and more authentic. Friends began to confide in her, colleagues sought her out for advice, and even her family noted a change in her demeanor. Clara had transformed from a woman hurriedly navigating through life to one who embraced the beauty of each moment. Months later, as Clara sat in her favorite cafe, sipping her tea while watching the world go by, she reflected on her journey. The once overwhelming noise of the city now felt like a symphony of life, each sound a note contributing to the melody of existence. She smiled, realizing that practicing mindfulness had not only changed her communication, but had also reshaped her entire perspective on life. In the end, it was the simple act of pausing before speaking that had opened the door to deeper connections and a more fulfilling existence. Clara understood now that awareness wasn't just a tool for communication. It was a bridge to understanding, compassion, and love. Thank you for watching this episode of Mind Awakening TV. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an awakening moment. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and let's continue the conversation. Stay curious and keep expanding your mind.